Today's Lectio Divina meditation bears the title Unemployed by God. Unemployed by God. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember well, this is the wording of T.S. Eliot, unemployed by God. We are so entangled in this age. It is impossible to slow down and stop consuming and causing harm to nature. There is an unstoppable inertia of the age. We want to change and we feel powerless. We simply cannot do it by ourselves. And let us be honest about it. We as a culture and as individuals simply do not have that focus and strength. We are typically in the situation of which Saint Paul warns: you cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of demons. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of demons. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21. We are partakers at the table of this age. And to a great extent, this is the source of the permanent inner bleeding of our psyche, moral orientation, wrong value options, and weak thinking. Who is going to awaken us? How can we recuperate our strength? Is there a way back to a world which can counteract the forces of destruction, distraction, in which all of us are caught up? Do we want to remain unemployed by God for good? Do we want to waste the most beautiful abilities of our souls? Or, to put it in the first singular, do I want to waste my life in this giant sea of ebbing away? If not, one should be attentive to God's inspirations and promptings. It is always there. This inspiration, this regeneration, comes most powerfully through His Church. In order to detach ourselves from the table of demons of this age, humbly we are asked to return to the Church, not simply to spirituality, not simply to individual search and seeking, but to the search. To return, we are called to return to that freedom of consciousness which the Church, in an unexplainable way, offers to us. All we need to do is the first step of acknowledging the source, that the source of our renewal is outside us, not in our power. We can't create this only genuine freedom. I found a quote from Saint Francis de Sales from his treatise on the love of God in Book 4, Chapter 6, which has the title that we must recognize how all our love for God is from God. He writes, Is it not insane blasphemy to think that you have given holy, effective and living activity to God's inspiration simply because you did not show it away by resisting it? We can obstruct the effects of inspiration. We cannot give its effects to it. It derives its strength and virtue from God's goodness, which is the place of its origin, and not from man's will, which is the place of its admission. To cut the story short, don't remain unemployed by God. Let us not leave our souls to be so.